Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Bleakwell Gaming. Today, I'm going to be telling you my top 5 tips for Sea of Thieves. And if you're a beginner, you're going to want to listen to these. Before we begin, if you could smash that like button, hit that subscribe button and notification bell if you like what you see so you can stay up to date with future content and videos. And leave a comment to tell me what you think about these videos and future content you'd like to see on the channel. Let's get into it. Number 1. So, for the first point, I want to start off by saying collect everything from all of the barrels that you find in an outpost. The reason for this is when you go out to sea, if you encounter a ghost ship, a skeleton ship, or a megalodon, or anything like that, you can have sufficient resources. If you go out on an island and you are under attack and you end up getting hit a lot, you'll have a substantial amount of bananas to heal your health back up. It can never hurt to have too many resources, and if you use all of the ones you find at an outpost, it's going to help you substantially. So for the second point, we're going to talk about planning your route. Plan your route efficiently. When you pick up some missions and you start it, if you have quests that maybe you found in a barrel, if you're going to do those as well as a voyage, take a look at your map on your ship. Now, if you're a new player, you may not know you do not have a map on your player. You only have it on your ship. So find where it is on your ship, take a look at it, and circle on the map the closest outpost to the last point you're going to visit and the best route along the way to what islands you're going to visit or where you're going to go, so that you have the best way of getting there, so that you're not going all over the place and in the worst ways possible. You don't want to go to the left, to the right, then end up in the middle. You want to go left, middle, right, outpost. That's how you want to do that. Number 3. This one touches base on PvP. Stay away from ships. If you are a new player, don't go near ships. From my experience, most ships I run into have always attacked me. None have asked me for an alliance, nor should they. I'm one person. I'm probably not going to be that big a help to them. But everybody has been hostile from what I've seen. So do not approach a ship. If you do, expect PvP. If you don't mind possibly losing, getting sunk, if you don't have that much experience and you're with your crew, if you don't have gear, then maybe you don't care. If you don't have loot, then maybe you don't mind running into other players. If they sink you, cool, you hit up the mermaid to get your ship back. That's it, that's all. If you do have loot, stay away from ships. They will sink you, they'll take your stuff, and you're gonna have a bad time. Number 4. So this point you may have seen elsewhere, but I wanted to include it in the list, so I touch base on it. Do not store explosives on or below your deck. You store those things on your ship, they get targeted by other players, or if a meg attacks you and it gets hit, it's going to explode and it's gonna put holes in your ship. Store it on the crow's nest. That way, if somebody hits it, it's not going to do that much damage. Now, for my last point, number 5. My last point is a little bit of a touchy one. Other people may not agree with me, but, it is what it is, and it's kind of the mentality I follow. Especially if you're a single player, you're new at the game, you're not well versed at it, you still got a lot to learn. You might want to take this to heart. Don't do too many quests at a time. The worst thing I found was when I tried to load up my boat with as much loot as I possibly could before I went and handed it in, I actually never made it back to the outpost. I always would get sunk, whether it's another player attacks me or a skeleton ship shows up and sinks me because I can't take them on yet. I just don't have that skill, and I've always lost that huge amount of loot that it took me hours to grind out, rather than you know, have 1 or 2 missions. That's 1 or 2 items, maybe a few if you find an extra couple here and there, and you go back to an outpost that's nearby, hand them in, and then go on to the next one. A lot of people don't like to do that. It's not super efficient. If you've got a bigger crew with you and you're a little more willing to say, hey, let's try fending off a skeleton ship if it attacks, or a mag, that kind of thing, you know, it's okay. But if you're on your own, especially, and you're still a new player, or you're with a crew and you're all new players and you don't think you can take on those troubles, try to only do a couple quests at a time. Don't get too much loot, because if you lose it, it's a waste of time. You will not get Pirate Legend very fast. I'm still under level 10 and I've been playing for a few weeks now because I keep getting sidetracked or I keep getting sunk. And that's just kind of the mentality I have now, where I'll do a couple quests at a time, get a little bit of loot, and go back. Because if I've wasted 30 minutes getting something versus 4 hours of getting something and then I can't hand it in, it's a lot of time difference. So those are my 5 points. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please remember to leave a thumbs up. It helps me a lot. On to the next one. Until next time, Bleakwell out.